Good morning and happy Sunday. I am off to a book study and then church and then a Bible study and then another Bible study and then another church and then another Bible study, I think. Yes. Fun! There are little green tents added to the wall of pictures. Cool! The coolest USB drive ever. Look, watch. It goes like, hold on. Ta-da! USB drive. So cool. Okay, so I haven't done a great deal of videoing today because I've been really busy at church, and I will tell you all about that when I get back and I can look at my notes and remember what happened. And we did have an Experience Africa thing again, and it's fantastic. Like, he just talked about missions there and how pretty it is and all the animals and what to visit and all that kind of stuff, and it was really cool. Anyhow, mostly about Tanzania where he's from, but other places as well. And then I went out with Heather. We were gonna go have lunch, but those people that I said didn't come on Saturday to the apartment are there now. So I'm gonna get my stuff and stay at Pastor Bill's for tonight. Hey, okay, so we are in Pastor Bill's house, and this is the room that I'll be staying in. It's got a bookshelf with cute stuff, and a door, closets, curtain, bed. So first Bible study, we talked about the difference between secular and religious kind of things, and what is secular and what is religious, and is there a difference, and like, how do we, even when we're doing just like normal daily stuff, how do we show that we're Christian, and is there a need to, and stuff like that. So, yep. Okay, sorry, there was just so much that happened today. So the sermon was about 1 Samuel chapter 2, and just about trusting God, and even in your time of trial to turn to God, as opposed to like anything else, and trusting that promise will come through, and that He's your strength, and He's the rock, and He's the Holy One. So that was the sermon. 1 second. Okay, the next Bible study was about Joseph, and we were looking at Genesis 49? Yeah, 49 and 50. And we were talking about, it's the part where the 12 sons get blessed, although some of them are not really that blessing. They're not much like blessings. And we talked about whether it was prophecy or just his opinions on how it's probably a little of both, and how what we say affects other people and our children. Not that I have children, but I work with children. And what makes repentance genuine, and why Joseph cried, and all kinds of stuff. I'll get back to that one in just a second, but let me tell you about the rest of what happened as soon as I figure it out. Okay, so there were a couple thoughts that I wrote down that didn't necessarily come from, like, we didn't talk about it in any of the Bible studies or whatnot, but I thought of them. And a couple of them, well, one of them we did talk about, and it's a quote from somebody. I wish I could remember who, but I can't. But one of the things that I wrote down is, why are we looking at the situation? Which is kind of like looking at yourself, really. when you look at a situation and you're like, this is what I am, blah blah blah, this is what I am going through, this is who I am, this is how this is working, when we should be looking at the people like God does, the people outside of ourselves, and looking at God, and how he's going to help them and how he's going to deal with that, and he's going to deal with that situation. So I guess we're not even supposed to be looking at the people, but looking at him. And that'll make us less self-centered, which is cool. And then the other thing that I wrote down is that God is over everything. That's the quote. That he's over the law and he's over all the other things in our life, and that he's, he finished all of that. And that's one of the recurring things that kept coming up today, is this law versus grace, or his will versus what it is, and all of this kind of thing, where it's like, well, which one is it? Is it him, or is it this, or is it him, or is it our will, or is it him, or is it the law, or is it the whatever? And I think what it boils down to is trusting that he's in control. Like, all of this stuff and anything that happens, whatever you think about all of these things that we talked about, he's the one in control. And so if we keep loving and living towards him, then it'll work out. Because as long as we're following him, or following the guy in control, then it'll be alright. So I guess today, God's in control. Oh, and sound went pretty well today. I did PowerPoint for the most part, but John was there, and Marshall was there, and Jason was there, and Tom, I think his name was. He did the video. And everything worked out pretty well, and everybody sounded alright, and it's cool. God worked it out, because he's in control.